sorry. Is the dog really loud? Can you hear him?
Uh, yes, I hear. I hear a dog barking in your background. Where is the dog?
Yeah, he's not even my dog. He's the neighbor's dog, and he's being so loud today.
Okay,
Sorry
yeah,
about
it
that.
is very loud today.
You were. Oh, I think that's it. Yeah, in the U.S. it does happen, but I don't think
Mhm.
it's super common. Mm-hmm. What
Yeah,
like instances have you seen or do you know of?
sorry, can you repeat your question?
What kind of things happen in India that you have seen or that you have experienced or that others have experienced?
Like nowadays it is not common in India as well. Now India is getting educated. People are educated, so they understand the value of education. They understand lots of stuff now. But in
Hmm.
past, yes, it was very common thing to discriminate against lower castes. Just you have a status problem in America, like somebody is lower, somebody is higher. So in India, we had casteism. Uh, each like there are so many castes in India. There are not
Hmm.
only few like how many groups would be in America? One will be lower, middle, or higher, right? But in
Yeah.
India, we have more than uh, 10, 12 prominent castes, and they
Wow.
discriminate with each other. So that's was a big problem. Right now, yes, as people are getting educated, they do not, they know the value of education. They know, what is right. Everybody is equal as a human being. So things are getting better, but still, yeah, somebody who is coming from that orthodox background, they still holds all these things in their mind. Yeah. So
Oh,
yes,
interesting.
sometimes you could hear some incidents happening here and there, but recently I don't heard any incident like that. Okay. So I was about to ask you one question about the
Hmm.
America. Like I know America has a lots of there is lots of money in America, but still people are I know lower class are struggling hard because their living cost, everything is very expensive, right? So
Hmm.
tell me a bit about the middle class of America. How do you categorize people in middle class? For example, in India, if you have a house to live in, food to eat, and a clothes to wear, you would be called as middle class, right? So, how do you categorize middle class in America? I think it would be same as India or something else.
Okay. Well, I can speak of my personal experience being middle class, right?
Hmm.
In my personal experience, we have a house. We've had usually one, sometimes two cars. Um, both my parents work though, and now my brother and I also work. So now we have four incomes coming out, into the house. But growing up, both of my parents had to work to have the lifestyle, right? So my mom as well, she also had to work. Um, I think a normal middle class family will usually go out to vacation at least once a year. And most middle class people go to public schools. Public schools are very common. Private schools, some middle class do private schools, but I think, at least not in my city where there are many private schools. I don't think. So it was not common in my experience. Um, I think that's it. We never really had to take like I mentioned, right? The government help from food banks or stamps or cards, thankfully. But I think that would be my experience. Do you have any other questions
No,
from
I
that?
don't have any question. Yeah.
Yeah. Does
So
that help give you an idea?
yes, yes, I got an idea, right? So,
Yeah.
what is it called to be middle class in America, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that, like I said, it's my experience. There are middle class. The thing is, I think in the US there are only three classes, but we do divide. the classes. So there's upper middle class, and there's just middle class, and lower middle class. Same with lower class. It has upper, middle, and lower class. So even in then, I guess you could divide it. So in middle class, I'm not upper middle. I would say I'm lower middle or middle. Um, so upper middle class maybe does take more than one vacation. Maybe they do have more cars, or maybe they can afford to have more kids, or they're not be in debt when they take their kids to college. So things like that. Um, it may be a bit different because it's a big group, middle class.
Okay. So do you think, if somebody is poor class in America, they can afford having a child?
They could afford it. It would be tricky, but I think it's possible. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I think so.
possible. So yes, I have heard one more thing about America that one who are poor in America, they usually live in car somewhere. Like in India, they live on footpath. Okay, like yeah, they will sleep, they will spend their night on footpath.
Oh, I
Yeah, the
see.
people. Yeah. So I heard about America, like they spend their night in their car somewhere
Right.
on the road. Is it right?
Yeah, I haven't seen that as much though. It's not my experience to know anyone who does that or to have seen it. I have seen it also online, but I think this happens perhaps in bigger cities. I think in smaller cities like mine or small towns, it's not as common because life isn't as expensive. I think in really big cities there are more lower class or even homeless people. It's a big problem in large cities because it's more expensive to afford living there.
Yeah, I understand. It is same in India. Like one who are living in village, like they don't have to sleep on footpath because
Right.
they have enough enough resources. Because life in villages are not so expensive as it is in cities in India. So yes, I can, correlate the things that you told with India. Yeah,
Yeah, that
understand.
makes sense. Oh, but I didn't know that was a thing there. Here, yeah, unfortunately, there are a lot of homeless people in big cities. A lot of homeless people.
Homeless people.
It's a big
I
problem.
think the situation is same in every country. Even if I talk about big cities in India, then people are homeless. They are
Mhm.
somehow living somewhere. Yeah, they would sleep in front of any shop at night to just uh to just pass their time. Yeah, to start a new day tomorrow. So
Mhm.
yeah, it is challenging. It is a big problem all over the world, not in India. But I think somewhere less, somewhere more. Yeah, that's only the matter. But still, we are at the same place. I
Right.
don't know. Politicians use lots of money to make atom bombs, make so many things, which is not necessary. Right now, we have enough atom bombs and everything to fight with any country, right? But they
Right.
do not think about it. Like how long we are in 21st century, we have everything on this earth, and after all people go hungry, uneducated. Yeah, lots of things happening.
Why do you think there are so many homeless people in India, though? Because in the U.S. it's an interesting case, but what is the reason in India?
I think in India, there are few problems, right? First problem is that either they are from such a background where their parents were poor, they are coming from poverty, so they do not have any choice except sleeping on footpath because like they don't have education, they don't have any resources, they don't have any means to get rid of this vicious circle. The problem is that if
Mhm.
you're living in big cities and you don't have money, education, then even job is not available for you. So if you don't have job, then you have to sleep on footpath, eat whatever you get from others. So this is a problem first. And second thing is few people I do not blame always the background and everything. I sometimes people are also in this mood, like they do not want to work. They are in such a psychological trap that they just want to spend their life anyway. Okay, so it is also psychological problem with people, like they want to deal with their life in the same way. So, but I think financial background, like family background, it matters a lot. For example, if my father were poor, then I had no choice to work somewhere, right? Since my childhood, early age, okay, I couldn't afford education, right? So first need I would have bread, and one cannot go hungry, so I will have to look for bread. And meanwhile looking for bread, I would I would be not creative. I would not think about anything else but bread, and my life will pass in this basic structure. So that's same happening in India with people, and I think in world as well.